Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Josh here with Josh's Lawn and Landscape. And it is Memorial Day, so happy Memorial Day to everybody. I'm going to try to make this intro quick. Yes, I will be doing some work today. I'm going to try to make it a full day affair so I can get back and do some stuff at home with the family. But I got to take the Dingo trencher machine back. See, got it on the trailer. So stopped and topped off the tanks because they charge a whole lot more for fuel if they have to refuel it. So I got it on the trailer and taking it back to drop it off at the rental place. And once I do that, I'm gonna try to go over to the irrigation job and finish cleaning out the trenches and get it ready to install the pipe and all that kind of stuff. So, again, want to say happy Memorial Day to everybody, and just a big thank you. And let's not forget all the men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice to allow us to have the life we have and live where we live. I know it has its ups and downs, it has its problems, but I really don't think anybody can honestly say they would rather live anywhere else. But that's just my thoughts on it. Again, thank you to those men and women who lost their lives allowing us to have what we have. So let's not forget that. I want to say thank you also to all my subscribers, everybody who's commented and watched videos. It's been kind of crazy recently, so I got some comments I'm behind on a little bit and things like that, but I'll get caught up. And if you haven't had the opportunity yet and you have watched a couple of videos, or if you're new and this is one of your first videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. And when the video's over, if you enjoyed it, leave me a comment and a thumbs up. And slinging rocks out of the tires. So that's what we got going on today, or what I've got going on today. Going to, like I say, drop the machine off and then head over to try and knock out some more of this irrigation job. It'll probably end up being a couple of different parts to this one, just simply because of the time frame that I'll have to work after today. So yeah, so we'll see. I'll try to get some footage, maybe do some explanation moments and things like that. Won't be a lot of live work footage, but it will be some instances where I'll get some stuff done and then I may take a minute to discuss what was done and how I did it. So I guess you could say it's a little bit of a how-to doing an irrigation system, or at least how I do it. So we'll see how that turns out. And yeah, that's pretty much all it's going to be today. So kind of getting into part 2 of the irrigation job. Hoping that what I do today goes a little better than the other day did. It wasn't a terrible day, but it probably cost me a good hour and a half worth of work time with the way I got started, but that's just part of it. So not going to ramble on. Y'all stick around and we'll get into this today and see how it turns out. I wonder what all this stuff is for. Explain shortly. Alright, y'all, so I've seen the preview of a lot of the parts that's going to go into this, and I will get into explaining some of that. It's going to be a little tough doing the filming because I still don't have a tripod, so I can't just set the camera up and show y'all. So I'll have some of it put together and some of the pieces separate, and just kind of explain what I'm using, what it involves, how it goes together, just some general stuff like that. So I know Ray, if you're watching, shout out to Ray over at Ray's Lawn and Landscape. He said he was kind of looking forward to this one. So Ray, I'll try to do a good enough job explaining everything and showing what I use and how I do it. A lot of people may do it different, but this is just going to be my way of installing an irrigation system. So I've probably done at least a dozen or more, probably 20 or more, between side work and landscape companies that I've worked for in the past. So of the ones I've done personally, I don't recall actually having one leak yet, so thank the Lord for that. It's been a pretty good run. So you just take your time getting it put together. It usually works out pretty good. And so I'm gonna turn the camera around and talk for just a quick second before I get started. And I got a little more I want to get cleaned out in the trenches to have about half of it opened up, and I can start putting some stuff in the ground. So yeah, it's been a pretty good start reasonably this morning, but here we go. So y'all seen from the video yesterday, I got my trenches opened up. These have all been shoveled out clean. There'll only be one line from just past that AC unit right there. There'll only be one line running up through here. So and then I'm trying not to get too much stuff in the, but from right there, there's a line that goes across the front of the back of the porch, and it kind of loops around to cover that area back there. And then there's one sprinkler head right here. So the valve box goes down there in between them two trees right in front of that boat off the dock. And then there's a zone in the back of the house, and then a zone up the other side, and two zones up here in the front. So just real quick, yesterday y'all saw valve boxes, so I kind of got them sitting here so that I can lay out my valve assembly or manifold. Usually if there's more than 4 zones, I'll split it into 2 boxes. That's something that I do so you don't have them cramped in there and you got enough room to get in there and turn them. So 4 valves will fit into this standard box. I think it's a 12 by 17 at the bottom, so it will fit. That's the standard box I use. So since I got 6 zones here, I'm going to put 3 in each one. If y'all watched the video yesterday, you saw kind of how I had it laid out. And I'll just set it out here to get my spacing so I can cut my pipe and everything to do my fittings. So some of the stuff that goes in the system is flex pipe or funny pipe. And this is just simply a flexible tubing. And what it will do is actually attach to one of these barb fittings that you'll see. It goes in, screws into the bottom of the heads. The rotor heads use a 3/4 threaded barb. The spray heads and the fittings all use a 1/2 inch barb. So this barb here will screw into this fitting and look like this when you get it done. Goes on the end of the line, run your flex pipe off, and it will attach to the fitting in the bottom of your head. So you can see I got a spray head here. These take the 1/2 inch fitting. Rotor heads take the 3/4. So spray heads, rotor heads, and this is my pipe knife that I use for cutting the pipe. You also have a T-fitting that you can put the 1/2 inch thread in if you've got an inline head, if you're just making a long straight run. So just some basics. I'll get into that a little further shortly. Woo. Alright y'all, well, taking a break for lunch. It's about 10 after 12. So I've got basically all my trenches opened up for the first 3 zones and where the valve box assembly will go for all of it. So the only thing I'm going to do probably right after lunch, because it's a shaded area mainly, 1 is right here where the truck's at, where I can start assembling some stuff, and 2 is all I've got to clean out is the trench behind the valve box that goes down to where the pump's at, to where I have to tie into that. So I'll go through and probably clean that up, and as soon as I get that cleaned up, I'll start assembling everything, and then I can go through the assembly process for y'all. So right now, got me a body armor fruit punch. Actually got two of them. This one was partially drank, so I got me another small one like that. And then I'm gonna leave home without these. Best snack out there, I believe. Well, next to Snickers. So got some protein in both of these. So didn't get me any jerky today, and normally sometimes I'll get me a big piece of beef jerky, and I'll eat probably half of it around lunchtime and then half of it through the afternoon with some water, and that way I get a little bit of protein with and hydration. So yeah, definitely right now the humidity's up. If you can't tell from my face being a little red and sweating, so, and obviously see, and it's only lunchtime, and I've probably only worked for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and this will be my second break. So as far as that goes, but shoveling out trenches in this humidity is no easy task. So if anybody would like to help, let me know. Come on over. But yeah, I'm gonna finish up my probably another 15-20 minutes, just cool off, sitting here cooling off in the truck. I do not have the windows all the way up. I don't want to get too cold in here, get out and temperature change. I don't even have the AC all the way on cold. I just got it kind of cool just to cool me down a little bit along with my hydration. So don't want a big temperature change, body temperature change getting in and out of the truck. So not a good thing. Just a little tip there for those of you who probably didn't already know that, but most everybody does. But anyway, gonna finish up my lunch and then probably do a little bit more trench cleaning, and then I'll get into some discussion about more of the parts and stuff from earlier. So stick around. All right. Well, so one thing I do, obviously, as you can tell, I got my pipe laid out just in general, where it should go to each of the heads and the part of the zone. So I got it all the way down to most of the second zone, and I got some more pipe down there. So I have to get one piece, which I think will come off of that pipe laying there, to go right here. And then I've got the at the end of the line where the heads will go. This is the fitting with the barb with the flex pipe on it. And got some, hang on, I gotta change something. Alright, sorry about that. So I'm back. Well, as you can see, I just got them laid out where they go. And again, this is just a 90 degree with the 1/2 inch barb threaded in. And you can put it on the line. The flex tubing screws on the end of it. And then it runs over to the head. So what I do, I use the flex. Some people will run straight hard pipe over and just screw the head onto a fitting. But the reason I like the flex is because if somebody does happen to run over the sprinkler head itself, so they just run over the top of this and it pushes it down, you're likely, instead of busting a hard pipe at the bottom, you may break a barb, or it may just be where the head gets messed up. And if the head gets messed up, you can simply dig it up, unscrew it off the barb, and screw another head down on it. So I just like using the flex right there at the heads, so you don't risk breaking off a piece of hard pipe if the head is screwed, say, directly down onto a fitting like that and it's stiff pipe. Just less risk of it breaking the pipe, being that this flexes. So that's why I use the flex pipe. You can hard pipe it, some people do it. So I guess it's just a matter of preference to you for your job. So that's one thing I think, Ray, I think you were asking about that. Yes, you can hard pipe it. This is just the way that I do it to minimize the chance of breaking a line if somebody happens to run over a head. So I use the blue wetter dry glue. This is what a lot of pool installers use, but you can put this on and there's a little water in the line. It doesn't matter. So for this system I have the multi-strand wire. There is a common white wire, and then each color wire can be coded to a zone, so you can tie into the valve. You have two wires, a common and a zone wire, so you can color match it to the timer. So if this is zone 1, it can be red. You'd put red wire on one of these and red wire on zone 1 on the timer. So that's what that's for. I'll get into that a little further later. So like I said, I got the pipe laid out, and I've got the head connectors, these here. I've just got to put the last one together. You just kind of hold the pipe and push and twist it up until it gets about halfway between the threads and the elbow here as a minimum. These do not require Teflon tape. Some people may put it on there, thread tape. You just tighten them down good and tight, and they pretty much seal themselves off. Oh, excuse me. So that's that. That's how you do the heads, and these are the nozzles for the spray heads, those little small heads there, because they just come with a blank cap in them. So you'll just lift this up. I can't do it right now, but you'll grab that tab, pull it up, unscrew it off, and then you can put one filter and one nozzle, and these are adjustable to 360 degrees. You just use that little lip right there, that little tab. That's the start point, so if you twist it all the way to there, it closes. And then you can just open it up 360 all the way back around to cover the area you want to cover. These are 18-foot sprays. So it's 18, and I've got some 15s, which is probably what I'll use. And one thing to do, I'll probably note later and show you, is to make sure before you attach any of the heads to the line that you flush out at each head location. So you'll crimp off your flex pipe, and then you'll turn the water on once you got it all hooked up, and then you'll open those pipes one by one and let it blow out, and that way it'll blow any dirt or debris that's in the line up to that point out of the flex. So I'm gonna start putting some of this together, and then I might do a walk over once I get it in. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna try to knock off probably around 3:30 or so, hopefully. So I'm gonna try to get the valve assembly together, so I'll show a little bit more of that here after this part, and then hook up the first two zones to the valve assembly, and then just dry fit a piece of pipe and some caps, just so that it doesn't get any dust or anything, dirt in there at the valve. So but I'll try to get some footage of that when I'm done, and do a walkthrough of how to put the valve assembly together once again, like I did in the previous video. And this will be, I guess, part 2, even though I didn't mark it part 1 in the last video. So this will be the how-to irrigation install. So hopefully you're enjoying this and it's helpful and you're making notes. So I'll be back. Alright, here's the excuse me, first part of the valve assembly construction, whatever you want to call it. So what I did is I lay my boxes out. This is the general spacing based on the size that I got to put them in the back. I know my feed line is going to come in the middle and branch out, So I set this fitting up and basically just lay my spacing off for my valves on either side. Get a rough idea of how far off I want the valve from the the feed line so that it's inside the box, and basically cut a piece and use it as a pattern to cut the other pieces, however many it is. In this case I needed 5 other ones, 6 total. Then basically I'll lay the fittings off in line with where I want the valves, and roughly do the same thing with the pipe. And it's kind of an eyeball, but it's not an exact science. I'll take the pipe and lay it up here like this, knowing that right in that area, right in here, is as far as it's going to go in this before it makes the turn that way. And I'll basically line it up there and get my mark on the other fitting, and then cut that piece right there next to where the end of my thumb is marking. And so once I get all my pieces cut, then I will take my wet or dry glue it all together. And always make sure when you're gluing your valves on, they do have a flow arrow, so make sure they are flowing away from the assembly, so the water comes in, when the valve opens up it flows that way. So also be very careful putting too much glue inside your valve assembly. Just need to get a little bit in there, and then I always kind of twist it back and forth once I put it on to spread the glue around. Just keep in mind, when you are using this glue, you have roughly 5 to 7 seconds, if it's not wet, but roughly just say 5 to 7 seconds to set a fitting or a valve in place. So do not hesitate on your alignment when you are putting this stuff together, or you will wind up cutting it back out and starting over. So I'm going to assemble all this, and then once I get it assembled, I'll be back and show you what it looks like when it's all put together. Alright, as you can see, there it is, all assembled. Got it sitting so you can see that it does fit. The box at the bottom is a little wider, so that's essentially it. Always make sure every one of these fittings that you put in at an angle that you can turn it a little bit. It just helps to spread that glue all the way around to make sure that there's no dry pockets for the water to seep out of. So, and another thing to remember, obviously you're working, but be sure you wear old clothes and possibly even some gloves. If you can see, I got a little bit on me. I've been wiping it off a little bit, but this stuff gets messy, and you will more than likely come out looking like Papa Smurf by the time you get done putting an entire system in. So there it is. I got it lined up, and I may even bump the boxes a little bit closer, just let them touch. And but other than that, this is the valve assembly that's together. And then once this is tied in, you just have to measure where each zone goes. And this one will probably be zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 4 zones will actually come out and go this way. These 2 zones will come out and go around to come up this side of the house. Zones 4, 5, and 6 are on the other side. This is 6, this is 5. 4 goes down the side. And 3 is all the way in the back on that side back there, and then 2 back there. And then 1 starts at the steps and comes all the way up here. So I'm going to take this back there and clean out for the supply line and get it run over to the junction point and cap it off till I get the fittings for it. And then I'll start running these first 2 zones around here to where I got this pipe at, and hopefully get those 2 in. And I may even get froggy and try to put zone 3 in if that works out. It's about 20 minutes to 2, so hope y'all are enjoying it so far. Leave any questions or comments below, and moving on. So pretty good day so far. Let me know if y'all think I left something out. Trying to cover it all. Stick around. Alright y'all, so first real hiccup of the day.
I'm getting ready to put the backflow assembly together, which is just a valve assembly that keeps the water from backing up into a pump motor or the meter, so you don't have like double pressure coming in, messing anything up. So it's just a preventer valve basically, and it requires 2 threaded fittings. These are 3/4. You can get these with a 3/4 to a 1-inch, which is what I thought I was getting, but that's okay. I'll show you how to fix that problem, because I'm using a 1-inch feed line. So I'm going to turn the camera around, let you know the problem is this is the only thing that requires, or that I use, and the way I do it is I'll put Teflon tape on these threads to go into this assembly. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you how everything goes together. So here we go. So this is the backflow assembly. It also has a flow arrow on it. You can kind of see right there, flows this way. So, but one of these fittings goes in each end. So that is why, since it's going into brass, we'll put thread tape here, Teflon tape, what I call it. But the problem that I'm running into, small hiccup, is I usually have a roll right here in this tray in my box, and it's not there. And I've also checked my tool bag, did not have any there. So I called my father-in-law. He's gonna check and see about bringing me some. But since this is a 3/4 fitting and I'm using a 1-inch feed line, it's a pretty simple fix because I have all the fittings. Once this is put in, I will run a short piece of 3/4 pipe, and then I will take a 1-inch coupling straight connector with a reducer fitting that goes from 1 inch down to 3/4, and then attach it to the end of this short piece of 3/4 pipe on either side, and that will have me back at my 1-inch line. So pretty easy fix. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the pipe and these fittings all together, and then I can just take the whole assembly and screw it into the end once I get the Teflon tape for this. So just wanted to show you that small little hiccup, but getting it worked out, and how I'm going to go about putting this together. So I'll kind of show you these fittings when I get them assembled, and I'll probably just screw them in the end to give you a visual of what the whole thing looks like. So, but that's how I'm going to do this part, and I'll be back. Alright, so here's a quick glimpse, get my words all mixed up, of how this will look. Obviously, my father-in-law is going to bring some Teflon tape up here, so I'll get some put on these fittings and then get them tightened up real good on each end. And then you can see I got it back up to where I can bring my 1-inch line in and out on either side. So just make sure I get it. Pretty sure I remember the flow direction is this way. So I'll make sure I get that assigned right, so when it comes out of the pump down at the lake, obviously you want the water flow the proper way. And then there are some black cover caps here that go on these bleeder valves that you can, I think you can take each one of these and loosen them or open this fitting. I've never had to do it, but I think to bleed it off if you need to. And then this will also allow you, if you need to cut the water off to the system to help keep water from sitting in the lines so much, you can actually do this so that if one of the lines were to, say, freeze and bust somewhere further north, the water would stop here. So this would help you from water continuing to seep out of a system and increasing your water bill if you're on a meter. So that's another helpful tip for why you put one of these in. So going back at it, show you some more in a little bit. Woo, look at that. And it just dropped 1 degree, so it was 99 out here, y'all. It's hot up in the sun. So taking me another quick water break. I got one of the zones in. Got to put one more in as my goal, to at least get those first 2 in, and then I will be wrapping it up. So I've already cleaned a few things up, but sweating so much, makes me like I'm spitting. But yeah, so I'm gonna get that one more zone in and see
maybe get some footage before I leave, or maybe when I show back up, I'll show it all in the ground and kind of how it works. I'll at least probably get part of this first zone up here, because the owners are back there doing some work around the lake edge back that way, so not going to get them in the footage. So. But not a bad day, running a little longer than I thought, so I got that, once I got one more zone to put together, and then once I do that, I'm going to pack it up and let that be it for today. So, then I'll just be out here the next couple of afternoons trying to get it wrapped up. So, stick around until I can close it out for today. Alright y'all, real quick. I got all this on this side in the ground, so you can see, got it laid in there. Joints over, flex sticking up. And this is zone 1. And this is all tied into the valve assembly right back there. So, just wanted to show that real quick. A little behind where I wanted to finish, but I pretty much got done what I wanted to do. So, yeah. Yeehaw. So, let me get back out and get on the road before I do a close out here. And I'm heading home. It's about 4:30 or so. So I'm about 20-30 minutes behind where I wanted to be, but hey. And yes, Mr. Gerald, I'm going to put my belt on before I back out of the yard. So don't fuss at me about that. So let me get the camera turned around and get out of this yard, and then I'll be back to wrap it up. Woo! Alright. So I am headed out of the neighborhood. Nice long day, but pretty productive. Got pretty much where I wanted to. Would have liked to have maybe gotten that one more zone in. If this was a regular day off, I probably would have stayed a little longer to get that one more zone set in there and get it prepped for the rest of them. But it's not. It's Memorial Day. Going home to spend the rest of the evening with the family, and may have to throw some steaks on the grill if my wife thought about. I think she said she thought about putting them in the oven or something. So not sure about that. Don't know if any of y'all have ever done that. But anyway, we're having steaks, mashed potatoes, and salad, I believe is what she said, for supper. So looking forward to that. That steak's not going to stand a chance, I can tell you. Because water, body armor, one Snickers bar, and some crackers is done gone. So somebody coming in the neighborhood there, got to be smile and wave, you know, like the penguins on Madagascar. Smile and wave, boys. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm not going to make this one too long on the end. Thank you again to all my subscribers, everybody who's watched and supported the channel. I guess this will be how-to part 2, or maybe just how-to. Hopefully this was helpful to y'all with everything that's in here. And check traffic. The road's kind of busy. But hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Again, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to everybody who has watched and commented on the channel, liked the videos. Hopefully something that you've watched has been helpful, and hopefully, like I said, y'all enjoyed this one today. So thank y'all once again. Y'all be safe, be kind, be blessed, and catch you on the next one. Thanks everybody.